Okay. So coming back, the Shiva Sutra is not as old as many of the other works. It is dated as 800 CE and by a person called Vasugupta. Okay, so yeah, so something called Vasugupta, a person called Vasugupta from Kashmir Shaivism tradition. Now, given his timing where he's coming from, he's coming at a point in time where the Vedas and things are all there, and the Buddhism is the dominant religion of India, and Kashmir Shaivism that is maintaining the Hindu, the Sanatan Dharma things. So he comes and writes this. I've mentioned to many of you before, Kashmir Shaivism believes that there are 4 types of people existing at any time in the at any moment, right? The kind of people whose nadis are completely purified. All they need to ask is mentally ask, and they're able to access the divine intuition. The second type, their level of whatever the karmas are there are very light. And so for them, if they use a mantra, they can immediately access that. The third type are the people who are much more, have karmas and kleshas with them, who have to go through more of the ringer of life before they are ready to move forward. They need to make a conscious effort to not be affected by the humdrum of all the activities of life. Now, this group is very special. Actually, good many of you here can empathize when I say most of you, the way you are, and given your exposure to yoga and all of that, when something happens in life that is not necessarily what you want or not creates a disruption in your daily flow or whatever, you accept it and move along. It doesn't, shake you up, right? Now, by the same token, you will see other people who, when things like that happen, they don't go crazy, but at the same time, they are significantly affected, and they respond in the form of, the continuously venting. Oh, this happened to me. I'm so unlucky. God is not good to me. Things like that. Have you heard people say that? So that kind of.
Why me? Why I didn't do anything?
No. But why me is one part.
Yeah.
But it's more is constantly, loading it out, reacting this thing. And these kind of people need to go through a lot more karmas before they can clear out. The last kind of people are the people who in a given lifetime, their karma kleshas are so strong that they really don't, in this lifetime, they will not be able to experience the highest. And so that in the Kashmir Shaivism is called Anupaya. So there are only 3 chapters for Shambhopaya, Shaktopaya, and Anvopaya. So Anupaya has no chapter. Okay? So in other words, what does the Shiva Sutras talk about? It talks about each of the chapter. The first chapter is for the people who are at a level where nadis are all fully clear. The second, people who need mantras to clear the nadi. And third, people who have to go through a deeper realization of life. So in these 3 chapters, the discussion is like that, but the concept of the sutra is, it's a loaded statement, a loaded small short statement. Okay? So we can start looking, today we'll just look at the first chapter. There are 22 sutras over there. I think in total it's like 77 or 78 sutras between the 3 chapters. Okay. So the second one has only like 10 sutras, and the last one is, of course, the longest one. That is the Anvopai, right? So it may be helpful for you if I put it on the screen, right? So let me put it on the screen over here.
Are you using the one that says PDF on it?
What is that?
Because we had 2 copies of it. Right. I'll wait till you put it up. Never mind. Hi, everybody.
Actually, I did something little different. So you will see I always, I guess, I want to do it in a way that is easier for me. So what you have here is 3 columns of the Shambhopaya. The first column says Chaitanyam Atma. Okay. So when in Sanskrit they write it together. So this is actually 2 words. Chaitanyam Atma is the correct word, right? So Chaitanyam means awareness. Our cosmic, remember from the Yoga Sutras what the Chetana means. Chetana means our direct connection to Purusha, Ishvara, right? So Chaitanyam Atma. So in this, for a person whose nadis are fully clear, for that person, their consciousness is the supreme soul. The connection is right over there. The soul itself has the soul and the awareness are not separated. Whereas for people who have karmas, then the chitta takes over and the chitta creates more activity on you. Here the chitta is still, so only the Chaitanya is proactive. Make sense? Now the second sutra over here is Jnanam Bandhaha. When it says Jnanam Bandhaha, this is the translation they give, but I don't like the translation. Jnanam means any kind of external. Remember, we always say, when we talk of jnanam, we say there is jnanam, there is vijnanam, and there is prajnanam, right? When we say jnanam means simply like you can think of it as information. Having awareness of something, aware of some information. Vijnanam means the understanding the cause and effect of whatever you're observing, your information you have. Vishesha jnanam. And prajnanam is the intuitive awareness, right? So in other words, here he says jnanam bandhaha. Bandhaha means that holds you in bondage, right? That holds you as a prisoner. So the thing is, you see, when we are at a level where we are externally, anytime you're thinking of absorbing information, whether you like it or not, the mind is involved. Whereas when you have intuitive awareness into the cosmos, the mind is not involved. There is no mind, right? So here you can basically say mind is the bondage. I'll write it in over here. Mind that processes information is bondage. That is the literal translation.
Basically, knowledge gathered from outside.
Yes, that is an even better way. Knowledge gathered from outside. We can put it actually. Let's put it that way. Let's put it this way. External information is bondage. Right? Next, third sutra says, Yoni Vargaha Kala Shariram. This is done twice. We don't need that. Okay. So Yoni Vargaha Kala Shariram. The interesting element over here is kala is a word that is used to explain any structure. So they will talk about in the Tantra system that there are 64 kalas that create the world, right? So the kala is really a structure. And that structure is what gives body. Shariram means body, right? So the thing is basically the varga means category. And nivarga means, actually it is nikrishta varga. But the thing is basically, what is the nature of it? It is coming from the yoni of divine in the process of creation. So what is in this, for a person who has the nadis are all clear, they are able to completely understand what we have over here is only the structure that has come from the higher source, yoni vargaha. So when they say set of axioms generate structures, is not the right word. We can say the creative womb delivers structure of creation. Okay? So that may be a better way to put it. Would you agree? Then please, this is an interactive session, so please feel free to jump in.
So, Nandi, when you mentioned there are 64 tantras, out of that,
I didn't say tantras.
64 kalas.
Kala.
okay.
Kalas are creative. You see, what happens is when in the Sri Chakra, when the 5 lower facing triangles, lower vertex triangle and the 4 upper vertex triangle, they meet together and they crisscross. The crisscrossing essentially is supposed to create a total of 64 triangles. Okay, that's considered the process of creation. Okay, next is sutra number 4. Jnana Adishta.
So, Narayananji, so each sutra consists only of 2 words? That is the whole sutra? That's it?
That's it.
Oh.
See, what happens is you need to understand the Yoga Sutras is written as an essay. Have you read the Brahma Sutras, Shobha?
No.
Okay. The Brahma Sutras will be like this. Okay? The Brahma Sutras of Vyasa will read somewhat like this. What happens is, remember something, the Yoga Sutras, the Sankhya Sutras and all of these are much older texts and they were written more as an essay. Whereas on the other hand, when Vyasa comes along, he gathers up the hymns of 33 different religious systems in India and he brings together, in order to bring them all together into one without alienating anyone, he doesn't want to say this is what everything is, but basically he creates the 4 divisions of the Vedas with the hymns from all these traditions. And the Upanishads are supposed to give the glimpse of the higher reality. But then if you read one Upanishad, you can't really understand everything. So what he says, he wrote the Brahma Sutras, and each sutra is supposed to be linked to a Upanishad. So that is the reason in the study of Vedanta, you cannot approach the study of Vedanta without some understanding of the 10 major Upanishads and the Bhagavad Gita, so that you can interpret each one of the aphorism or the sutra in the Brahma Sutras, right? So it is the same kind of approach over here, and the age of the text, as I said, is 800 CE, right? And so that basically tells you Vasugupta and this thing, it's a much later text. And he has followed the sutra element as a way to explain the Shambhopaya, Shaktopaya, the Anvopaya. He explains them, and here we are dealing with the Shambhopaya, right? So, Jnana Adhishtanam Matrika. So, the Matrika means what? You can think of it as the mother source. Okay? Matra means mother. Matrika is of the mother. Okay? So the Jnana Adhishtanam Matrika. So the Jnana, or the information that creates that delivers all the structure of creation, the basis of this is in the Divine Mother. So we can write it as the basis of cosmic structure is the Divine Mother. Udyamo Bhairavaha. Actually, this is a very interesting concept. The idea of Bhairava in Kashmir Shaivism is a little different from the idea of Bhairava that comes from the Vedantic system. Can anybody tell me how they understand Bhairava? You have to unmute and speak up if you're going to say something. Okay, nobody is going to say anything. That's fine.
Is it any avatar of Shiva?
Very interesting. In the Vedantic system, Bhairava is considered a form of Shiva, or the one who is the
Kala Bhairav. Is it Kala Bhairav?
Kala Bhairav is the term that is used in the Vedantic system. Okay, one who basically controls time and delivers the death and that kind of things, right? But in the Kashmir Shaivism, Bhairava is considered the source beyond the mother, higher up. So in many ways, you see, if you understand from the Sankhya Sutra, Kala running through the Prakriti is what creates all the changes in the world, right? So the Kala is coming out of the work of Mahat, coming out of that. And so Kala, sometimes they say, is the 25th principle, as when we were reading the Sankhya Sutras, right? So Udyamo Bhairavaha, that is above is Bhairava, or the Supreme Lord, you can think of. Okay? So Shakti Chakra, Shakti Chakra Sandhane Vishwa Samhara. Vishwa Samhara means, Samhara means to collapse, to kill, right? To kill, collapse, die off, whatever, to withdraw, right? So Vishwa Samhara means the universe collapses. And how does the universe collapse, or you get withdrawn from the universe? Shakti Chakra Sandhane. So the you see, the word Sandhana has a very interesting meaning. See, Anusandhana means to understand, right? So Sandhana means to become one with, is what it means. So Shakti Chakra Sandhane Vishwa Samhara. So here, what it is essentially saying is, remember, since this person coming from Kashmir Shaivism is saying in brief aphorisms, there is a whole set of assumptions lying behind. So what this person has already said is that the structures of creation are based on the knowledge that comes from Matrika, right? So having said that, the idea of Shakti Chakra, that is the energy flow through the chakra system of this thing, once you become integrated with it, then in which case the universe collapses. In other words, relative to the individual, then in which case you are no longer you are no longer affected by the physical world. The physical world doesn't mean anything after that, right? So for you to understand this in a better way, as an example, think of Ramana Maharishi. Ramana Maharishi was a person who was known, everything is Maya, nothing affects, what you see over here is not real. That is how he used to say. So by union with the energy centers, one withdraws from the universe. So we can probably write it as in integration with the energy centers, the universe collapses. Okay. So the next one is Jagrat Swapna Sushupta Bhede Turya Bhoga Sambhava. These three states, most of you really know. It is quite common. Jagrat is the awake state. Swapna is the dreaming state. Sushupti is what you would call as the deep sleep state. And Bhede means distinction, or what you would call it as discriminative understanding or whatever, or
To pierce.
uh,
To pierce
to
it
pierce,
through.
exactly. Bhede, to pierce, separated out, pierce is the right word. Turya Bhoga Sambhava. So if you go beyond, if you pierce the state of being awake, dream state, and the deep sleep state, if you go beyond that, if you pierce that state, then in which case you can experience the state called Turya. So what does he say over here? Even during waking sleep and deep sleep, one can experience the fourth state transcending consciousness. This is not quite correct. What we should say is, when the states of being awake, in dream and deep sleep are pierced, one can experience. It is possible. Sambhava means possible. It is possible to experience the Turiya state of higher awareness. And by the way, in many ways, what is being said over here has already been said in Sutra number 6 over here. If the universe collapses, it means you're outside the three states. Right? So that's all there is in it. And then the next one is Jnanam Jagrat. Jnanam Jagrat, that means knowledge arises. That is, let's see. Knowledge is, sorry. Jnanam means information. So knowledge is obtained in the wake state. Knowledge.
He's contradicting himself. Right? First sutra he says Jnanam Bandha. Now he's saying Jnanam Jagrata. Right? So what?
No. What in this particular case, it is probably coming as this person writes, that only when you go beyond the Jagrat Swapna Sushupti state, you are able to experience Turiya. And he says that in the when you are in the Jagrat state, then in which case you have you are more aware of the external knowledge. In the Swapna, you are in the Vikalpa. That means you are in a delusionally state, dreaming up stuff, right? Dreaming is free ranging of thoughts. It's essentially essentially delusional. What you see in dream may mean nothing at all, right? So that's this thing. And then he goes on to say, Aviveko Maya Saushuptam. But here, Sushuptam is written as Saushuptam, is the state of Sushupti. Aviveka Maya Saushuptam is, let's take this out. Okay, so deep sleep is Maya, Aviveko Maya Saushuptam. Sushupti Saushuptam. Okay, actually, what he has said is not right. In fact, what it is Aviveko Maya Saushuptam. Effectively, in the state of deep sleep, the Viveka or discriminative knowledge of Maya arises. That's what it should be, right? What do you think?
Is it Sashuptam or Maya or Suptam?
That's a very good question. So,
Maya, then all.
let's see. Aviveko means the coming of discriminative knowledge. Okay? So, Maya Saushuptam can be that in the state of Sushupti, that is in the deep sleep, right? In deep sleep, you're still in Maya, right? So, I think, and this is where we say that people get intuitive awareness after when they wake up from deep sleep, right?
Yes.
So that's how we should understand this. So in the deep sleep state of Maya, comes, we'll put it in parentheses, intuitive, discriminative.
But Nandi, did you say intuitive discrimination comes after the deep sleep, not during the deep sleep, right?
Actually, see, what happens is, we have often said that when you have good deep sleep, and the deep sleep is the state where you connect with the higher cosmic intelligence, right? And that's where you download your daily dose of antivirus and program updates. So what happens is, if you have any question in your mind when you go to sleep and you go into deep sleep, when you wake up, you'll have the answer. But how did you get the answer? It was happening it was coming to you in the state of deep sleep.
Yeah, they say, right, in the deep sleep state, it's a state of mindlessness or no mind state, right? So it is not interfering with the natural intuitive power, maybe.
And no. That is but actually comes. We can say it is really intuitive. Intuition means something that is connected with the higher domain, right? Not
right. Yeah.
Logical.
That's why mind is not interfering. So you are more intuitive during that stage.
That is this thing. Taya bhokta veera.
I had a comment to make.
Yes.
I'm looking at this. I have this book on Shiva Sutras by Gyandev.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've seen that book.
No, I haven't. If you want to say something, please go ahead.
So in this one, he says the 8, 9, and 10, these 3 sutras are really on the waking, sleep, and deep sleep.
Like that's exactly what we are saying too.
Yeah, but the sutra in the 10th sutra, he translates lack of awareness on any plane is the profound sleep of delusion.
Okay. I cannot accept that. By the way, when you say Jnanadev, which Jnanadev?
Yes, Gyandev Singh.
Okay, very good. It has nothing to do with the Jnanadev of Maharashtra.
No.
So this Jnanadev could be as Jnani as Jnani Jail Singh. So we leave it at that.
Okay.
So anybody can give themselves a name called Jnani, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So Tammy, you want to say something?
Right. You know what? I thought Maya was like the sleep.
No. Maya
Veil
means
of sleep. That's
illusion.
right. Oh, well,
Yeah, Maya is the delusion, the sleep, because you're not aware of anything. That's not the real thing.
No. The word Maya is used in a way to indicate all of this worldly creation we see is only an expression of a subtle higher domain. Everything we see over here is Maya, and the higher level of Maya is the vibrationally elements which are also Maya. The only truth is the source of everything.
Maya Shakti is another name for Prakriti also, right?
That is correct. That is why it is called Maya. Maya does not mean sleep. Maya means the entire illusory process, or what you can call as expression coming from God, that makes everything look like this is happening. But in reality, we are all, everything that you see and experience are like pixels on a screen. Okay. So
Naranji, aviveko, what does it mean in this sutra?
aviveka means coming of discriminative knowledge.
Okay.
And that is why whenever you have a problem, we will always say, go sleep on it. You get deep sleep, then slowly it will resolve itself, whatever this thing, right?
Actually, I read somewhere, ya ma sa maya. So that is the definition of Maya. So which is knowledge? Ma can be nothing, or it can also be knowledge. So ya ma sa maya. So I mean that's what I have read. I don't know whether it's true or not. So
Uh, you see, the thing is, you see, the word ma, of course, means not, right? It's a negation. And ya is often associated with the, the idea of air, right? Something that is more subtler than a physical being. So when people say this, it could be anything, whatever, so be it. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish off quickly. Only 20 minutes
just
left.
before we go ahead, I still want to understand, what do you mean by deep sleep is Maya, the irrational? Why the irrational?
Okay, let's be very clear. This irrational is the idiot who wrote this.
Oh, this is not yours. Okay.
Yeah, so the thing is, let me do something, and I will just put a line over that. Okay?
whose translations are those, Narayananji?
Huh?
Whose translations are those?
Whatever was that website.
it's in the PDF document.
I see. Okay.
Okay.
Vasugupta.
I'm going to get rid of all of these things, and maybe what I will do is, once we have corrected all of them, I'll send you all a copy.
Okay.
And you can have classes on this now.
What is that?
Then you can have classes like you're doing for the sutras.
Oh, okay. So that's fine. And so now let's go further. Is Tritaya Bhokta Vireshaha. So Tritaya Bhokta means experiencer. Tritaya means the three states, right? Tritaya Bhokta Vira Ishaha. Vira and Ishaha are the two words Vireshaha, right? So the experiencer of the three states is the you see, there is nothing called the called the senses over there, okay, is the experiences of the three states. Is the Veera refers to the power of energy, okay, so we should call it over here
And what does the ESO means?
the
ESO?
controller of the energy flow
Okay. Or,
is the experiencer of the three states, because it is the three gunas that flows in us that makes us. This is what it this thing, it's not the lord of the senses, is not the right word.
we can delete that.
Yeah,
Is it supposed to be, is the experiencer, or you have experiences, or is he the one who does the experience?
see, you can state it either way. The lord of the three states is the controller of the energy flow, or whatever you can call it. Viryashaha refers to controller of the energy flow. Vismayo yoga bhumikaha. Okay, this is very interesting. You know what is the meaning of Vismaya?
It's like Vismanjit, which is Vismanjit is like surprise or dismay.
Surprise is the right word. Okay, the thing is, you see, a lot of these words come together in a way. If you know, the smaran means to remember. Vismaya, Vishesha, Smaya, this thing. So, but all of this, the right word is surprise. Something that is surprise. What is the surprise? Yoga bhumikaha. Yoga bhumikaha means the bhumika is really, you can think of it as introduction to yoga bhumikaha. You can think of it as the yogic connectivity. So the yogic connectivity, when it happens, is a surprise. You cannot expect it to come. When it comes, it comes. So it is a vismayoho yoga bhumika. The domain of union is an astonishment. No, the yogic connectivity happens in as a surprise when it comes. Okay. Ichha Shakti Uma Kumari. This is very interesting. Ichha Shakti means the energy of wishing whatever you want, Ichha Shakti. Uma Kumari. This person writes, the power of the will is the playful Uma. Can anybody help me over here?
What is Uma?
The manifestation is what he's talking about. So it's the power of the ability to manifest.
Or does the Ichha mean seeking? Power of seeking?
Well, this a little bit, it lacks a little clarity for me in terms of the words over there, because clearly it has a linkage from the previous sutras, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Naranji, because when we get the yogic connectivity, maybe all your desires come, are fruitful, they fructify. I mean, I don't know. So it's connected with the previous one.
Yes. So the thing is, you see, given this Shambhopaya explanation, Ichha Shakti Uma Kumari is how we should understand it is by mere wish. That energy of the mere wish gives you the complete awareness of the nature of Uma, the nature of the mother goddess and all of creation. So that's how I would interpret.
Can Uma be considered as Prakriti, so you can understand what, the whole of creation or something?
That's right. That's
So
what.
that's what, yeah.
By the energy of one's wish, one can access Prakriti.
Also mean that just by the mere will of her manifestation, Uma or Prakriti can manifest things.
This is a very interesting concept. There is the concept that if you look at the three aspects of Saraswati, Lakshmi, and
Parvati. Or
Parvati, right? Saraswati
So,
is considered the Ichha Shakti, right?
Correct.
And Parvati and Lakshmi is considered the Kriya Shakti, right?
Hmm.
And Kali is considered, or this thing, or Parvati is considered what?
I think no, Saraswati is
Gyan.
Jnana Shakti.
No, but
Jnana
that's
Shakti.
different. Jnana Shakti, like you're talking about knowledge, wealth, and that's different. If we are talking about the Shakti of manifesting something, right? So Ichha Shakti. So Uma being, if we consider Uma, because it's Shiv Shaivism, if we consider Uma as Prakriti, then with her will, she can manifest, is what?
Actually, I don't think so. The thing is basically,
Desire.
but you can call Ichha Shakti as desire, but the desire is something that is more often associated with something worldly, right? But this is more a spiritual desire. We leave it at that. Maybe we can do some more research to see how we can understand it. But to me, in the logical flow that is coming from Sutra 12, what we have to think is that by the yogi's Ichha Shakti, one is able to access Uma Kumari. That is how I will understand that, given the logical flow. Okay, so
So what is Uma though?
Uma is Prakriti. Uma Kumari is the Prakriti.
Achha.
Actually, this is very interesting. The word Kumari represents the young one. Uma Kumari means the original young state of Prakriti.
Or as they say, the unspoiled or the virginal state.
What does that mean? That
Right,
really
so-
means the early part of creation. In other words, in the first creation, when the Divine Mother comes out of God, then in which case the creation has not yet begun. So and only after that, when all the gunas flow and time passes, all the rest of the creation happens. So you can access the state of the Prakriti in the beginning stages. In other words, before creation has happened.
Yeah, the Prakriti before the gunas were introduced, right?
That's correct. So Drishyam Shariram. So what happens is, what you see is the observed has a structure, that is Drishyam is what is observed, Shariram. So what happens is, There you are able to Ichha Shakti Uma Kumari Drishyam Shariram. So you observe the nature of how that beginnings of creation are looking like. Hridaye Chitta Sanghatat Drishya Drishya Swa Apadarshanam. Right? Drishya Swa Apadarshanam. That is Hridaye Chitta Sanghatat. Oh, very interesting. Drishya Swa Apadarshanam. You know what is the meaning of Hridaya?
Heart.
The heart.
Hridaya means the hidden core.
Core, yeah.
That is the real meaning. The Hridaya refers to the inner core. And that is why
Root chakra.
say the Atma Chakra.
Root chakra. Yeah.
Atma Chakra is what it refers to. Chitta in the what happens in the Atma Chakra? Chitta Sanghattat. The Chitta Sanghattat means the Chitta is fully absorbed into the Atma Chakra. Then what happens is Drishya Swa, your own Drishya, Apadarshanam, it disappears. So that's what this sutra refers to. And he puts it by fixing the mind on its core, one can comprehend perceivable emptiness. That's a crazy way of putting it. We can say it in a yogi way. When the chitta is drawn into the Atma Chakra, one sees one no longer sees one no longer sees himself or herself, right? Is that better to say that? The self is not viewed. Maybe that's how we should put it.
Or should it be one can perceive the unseeable?
That's exactly what it means, but I'm looking at a pure translation. When the chitta is drawn into the Atma Chakra, the self is not viewed.
I think disappears is better word because it
Okay.
resumes.
The
Yes.
self disappears. Okay, we will do that.
Thank you.
Okay. Then the next sutra here is Shuddha Tattva Sandhanat Va Apashushaktihi. Shuddha Tattva Sandhanat. Sandhanat means to become integrated with. By integration with the Shuddha Tattva, that is the pure principle, Va Apashushaktihi. That means Pashu means something that is, a created being that has a body, right? And the what you would call the external energy, Pashu Shakti refers to that. Or by contemplating the pure principle, one is free of the powers that bind to association. So in Va Apashu Shakti. Okay. So by integration with the pure principle, Va usually means or,
Yeah.
right? And so here, what does Va mean? Okay, the or can be this thing actually. Here it refers to the vak, or can be placed in other places. So it begins. Or by, we spoke about how the self disappears by when the chitta integrates with the Atma chakra, or by integration with the pure principle, one experiences the energy, you can call it of apashu shakti. How would you call it?
Without external
Without what?
energy.
What energy?
External.
No. Pashu Shakti is external energy. Apashu Shakti means the opposite.
Without
Uniting with
Or by integration with the pure principle, one is in
union.
union.
union is a different word. That integration with the pure principle is Shuddha Tattva Sandhanat. One is in non-worldly energy. Whatever.
Divine.
Yeah, that is better. One is in the energy of the divine. Right? Okay, good. Next is Vitarka Atma Jnanam. So, this is a very interesting statement. Vitarka Atma Jnanam. And this is something that comes time and time again in Vedanta as well as in the Yoga Sutras. Unless you ask, you shall not receive. So you have to ask questions. Only then the answers will come. So right discernment is through the knowledge of the self. That's not the right this thing. Only by asking. Only by questioning.
Doesn't vitark mean to contemplate or reflect?
Vitarka doesn't mean contemplate, is by questioning. Tarka means Vishesha Tarka. You know, contemplation is your internal questioning, right?
Mhm.
By questioning within.
That will be vichara, right?
See,
Vitark.
see, what happens is, from a Yoga Sutra perspective, how is the Samyama process discussed in the first chapter? It is said, Vitarka Vichara Ananda Vitarka Vichara Ananda Anugama Samprajnataha state, right? So the key part is you have to ask. That is the whole point. And this is what, from a Vedanta perspective, you say you need to have mumukshatva. You need to seek. Actually, by questioning within, knowledge of the inner existence is revealed. I've said too many words over there in the
self-realization happens.
Yeah, by questioning within, Atma Jnanam, actually, yeah, by questioning within,
Achieves the
self-realization
happens.
Is achieved.
Well, let's put it this way. Self-realization. Realization happens. Okay. So the next Okay, there are now just 5 more. We'll go through this quickly. It's 9 o'clock, so we'll stop, but we'll just for the completion of the Shambhopaya. Loka Anandaha Samadhi Sukham. So the thing is basically when you are in the state of being a pure observer, when you are in that state, everything that happens in the world, you accept it as it comes. So that is like the Sukha of Samadhi. Shakti Sandhane Sharira Utpattihi. So by association with the Shakti of that Ananda, whatever the Sharira needs to do in order to do its Swadharma unfolds from there. Bhuta Sandhana, Bhuta Prithakva. Okay. Bhuta Sandhana, Bhuta Prithakva, Vishwa Sanghata. Okay. So by whatever bhuta means, so anything that is created in the material world, by associating with that, bhuta prithakva means something that is separated and different from the bhuta, vishwa sanghataha. So what does he say over here? Elements unite, elements separate, and the universe is gathered. So Vishwa Sanghataha means yes, Vishwa is gathered. Vishwa Sandhana, Bhuta Prithakva, this thing. We'll worry about it next time. Shuddha Vidya, Udaya, Shuddha Vidya, Udaya, Udayat, Chakra Ishatva Siddhi. So Shuddha Vidya Udaya Chakra Ishatva Siddhi. So in other words, you have the Siddhi of moving whatever through the chakras by having the higher knowledge. And then the last one is Mahahrit Anusandhanat Mantravirya Anubhava, right? So with you're able to experience the power of mantras, of course, is what is coming over there. So let's go back to Shakti Sandhano Sharira Bhuta. Okay. So in other words, what happens is all these last 4 are talking about the same thing that comes from the Yoga Sutra with respect to extraordinary siddhis that can happen for you, right? So that's what that they're referring to. So with this, we'll stop over here, think about it, and next session we can open with any questions and to finally take care of this. There are only 10 sutras in the next chapter, which is the Shaktopaya, which is all about just by doing mantra, you can do everything, right?
Can you send us what you just wrote up there?
Oh, sure, I can send you, no problem. Now, our larger group is so big. How do I do this? I'll send it to you. I'll figure out a way to do it and I'll send it to you.
The people who have signed up for the Prapanchasara, the Google Forms.
There are like 40 people over there and I see only here 11.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so any quick observations? Shall we close?
Just one question in the sense clear in my mind. The Shivam, Bhairava is Shivam, but Sadashiva is the Paramatma. Am I right?
That is, you see, what happens is in a conventional sense, yes. But what happens is we need to be clear that different philosophies may express the name in a different way. So in the Kashmir Shaivism, Bhairava is considered the highest, whereas on the other hand, from a Vedantic perspective, Kala Bhairava is considered as Rudra.
I just got a question about Shiva and Shakti and all of that, you know, it's like in my understanding that like they were real, right? At one time, like they were real.
Let's not go there. If
Well,
we
I
go
didn't know
there,
if this was a place where we could have that conversation.
let's have that conversation next time.
Okay. This is
Shakti
at
is
the
just
end.
the
Nobody stays
creative
to the
power
end.
of Shiva.
Uh,
Shakti is the creative power of Shiva.
see, if you think of it as Sadashiva, as Sadhana ji said, or Parashiva, that's correct. But let's get into this very carefully, and we will talk about this subject separately next time, even before we go on to the Shaktopai. Right, Tammy, remember to ask me.
Okay.
It's a very complex question. This cannot be answered with satisfaction for the people who are over here in 1 or 2 or 5 minutes.
All right. It's worth the wait, definitely.
Okay. So see
Thank
you
you.